morning, students. We will start a new chapter, mobile IP in mobile computing. In the previous section, in the previous class, we studied about ubiquitous mobile system, that is UMTS architecture. We talked about how the concept of providing internet everywhere at any time at any place is achieved, and the evolution from 1G to 5G, and that was about ubiquitous mobile computing systems. Here we will talk about how the address part, how that UMTS, or we can say how that concept of achieving connectivity everywhere every time is achieved. That is achieved through mobile IP. Now, before moving forward to mobile IP, first we need to recall about what is IP addressing system. Okay, in computer networks, you must have studied about IP addresses. Okay, see, to achieve connectivity we need connection, and to need connection we must know addresses. If we do not know the address of the host that we want to connect to, can communication be established? This is a simple question. For me and you to talk, I must know who I am talking to, who is the person. That is analogous to address. Next, we need a link, that is a medium. We can say a language. If I cannot communicate in a language, can the person understand? So we need a medium as well. And we need a platform on which we can talk. That is the environment. We are sitting here, we are talking, or we are standing here, we are talking. We need some platform on which we can, on the basis of which our communication can be established. So first thing is we need host, that is addresses of the host. Through the addresses only you can route the packet, because these are not physically present at the same location. They are geographically at various different places. So that's why we need addresses to establish a communication, apart from other thing, like there is a link, there is a channel, there is a medium, there is a language. Okay, so that is different thing, but here we will consider about how IP addresses in mobile computing is functioning. Okay, so you will recall that in computer networks we have IP addresses in the network layer. Now each network has an IP. IP consists of two parts. If you may recall, one is network ID and another one is host ID. Okay. So the network ID tells us about the topological network. The physical network address is given in network ID, and host ID gives us the address within the network of the host. So suppose in a network there are various hosts. Host number 1, 2, 3 and up to suppose n. So within the network, how to identify a particular host is given by host ID. Okay, that information is given by host ID, and network ID gives us the information about which network to connect to. There are various networks connected by routers, isn't it? There are various networks that those are connected by routers. So these routers need to know the network ID, and within the network to which host it has to send, the address is given by host ID. That we know already. Now this works in case of static networking. That is, when a system belongs to a particular static network. That means when the system is immovable. Okay. But here we are talking about mobile computing, isn't it? Mobile word means it is not confined to a specific geographical location. Mobile itself means it is movable. Okay, it is not bounded to a specific location. One could move from one network to another. That means in case of mobile computing, suppose a laptop, it is connected at time t1, it is connected to this network. Suppose in time t2, it is connected to this network. IP address change. So the link will terminate because the address is going wrong, because the laptop is moving. At one time it is belonging to a different network, and at another time it is belonging to some other network. So the IP address is bound to change. So in that case, what comes to the rescue? How can we establish the communication seamlessly? That is achieved by mobile IP. So that is achieved by mobile IP. Mobile IP is similar to the IP of normal IP, that is static IP, but it has some various other methodologies. We will talk about it. Mobile IP, with mobile IP, what we can do is the mobile systems, may it be a laptop, or generally we say any mobile device which can change location, but still through mobile IP it can get connected and stay connected to the internet, and it can stay connected to the world. It will be functional and it will be operational throughout the movement process. Although it is getting moved from one network to another, but still the connectivity will be maintained. How? Through mobile IP. Okay. Through normal static IP it is not possible. Okay. Now what is mobile IP? How this is achieved? So first of all, let me give me a brief about mobile IP. With mobile IP, what we can do is, it allows the device to stay connected, allows device, that is of course a mobile device, to stay connected irrespective of its movement across various networks. Okay, so it allows mobile device to stay connected irrespective of its movement across various networks. Okay, next is roaming across wired to wireless network is done with ease. That is easily. Okay. So roaming across. What is roaming? You know already. When we change our position from one network to another. Suppose I am now connected to Vodafone Orissa, and in the next day, suppose I am in Vodafone Chhattisgarh. I am connected to Vodafone Chhattisgarh. So there is change of networks. It is done from even wired to wireless. It is done seamlessly with the help of mobile IP. Okay. Now let's discuss about what is this mobile IP, how it is being done, how it is different from the static normal IP that we have studied. Okay, the IP address. How it is different from that. So let's take a picture first of a network, heterogeneous network. Network 1, network 2, network 3 and network 4. So these are the interfaces A, B, C, D, and this is a router. Okay, this is a router. Now, how mobile IP works? Now, mobile IP has two addresses. Okay, every device maintains in mobile IP. Each device, every device has two addresses. One is static IP, that is our normal IP address, 32-bit IP address, and another one is care of address. Okay, care of address. Now this you know about. The normal static IP has two components, that is network ID and host ID. The network ID tells us about the physical network it gets connected to, and the host ID tells us about the specific host within that network it connects to. Network 1, suppose this is a network, within network 1, which host it gets connected to is given by host ID. This you know about. Okay. Now, mobile IP maintains an extra address called of address. The expansion is care of address. Now what's special about this address? See, care of address tells us about the current network, or we can say the current network that it is belonging to. Okay, care of address tells us about the current network a mobile device is in. So when a mobile device moves, suppose I am registered, this is Vodafone Odisha. Suppose some network, okay, some 192 dot something is the network address and something is the host. Suppose 18.1. This is some. Suppose my device is 15. Okay, this is a class C address. Okay, normal IP, static IP is this. Okay, and my host ID is 15. I belong to this network. Okay, this network 4 of Vodafone. Now, this is the static address that mobile IP will take. But what about care of address? Suppose now I move from network 4 to network 1. Now I am in which network? Geographically, topologically, to say I am in which network? Network 1. This may be some other service, like I will give the name as Vodafone. Suppose this is Udaipur. Sorry, Rajasthan. Let's say Rajasthan. Okay. Vodafone Rajasthan. Now this may be some other network, no? 192 dot, suppose I will say 193.15 dot 2 dot some. Okay, this is the network address. This one is the network. Let's leave about the host. We do not care anything. Now this is the network. Suppose now we have come to this network. Okay. Now what is the care of address? Care of address is a temporary address based on current network. Now care of address, when I move from, suppose this device, number 15 device of this Vodafone Odisha, if it moves to Vodafone Rajasthan, it will be given a temporary address called care of address based on this. Okay, based on this network. So it will be given an address, suppose COA, some other address with combination of this network address. The network address will be 193.15.2. So what is the current network? Current network is this. Based on this, it will be given some address. Host ID might be something. Okay, XYZ. So this type of address is called care of address, which tells the routers that although it belongs to this network, but it has now moved to this address. Okay. So with this address, the routers will know that yes, this device belongs to Vodafone Odisha, but now it is present where? By judging this component 193.15.2, they will know, the router will know that no, the device is in network 1, although it belongs to network 4. Okay. Suppose I want to communicate. Suppose person A, a mobile device A, from network 3 wants to communicate to network 4. Now how it will be routed? There may be a question, no, कि मैम अगर होस्ट घूमता रहेगा तो हमें पता कैसे चलेगा उस तक कि हमारा पैकेट पहुंचा कि नहीं? मैंने जो मैसेज किया है वो पहुंचेगा कैसे अगर वो मोबाइल घूम रहा है तो उसका कोई पर्टिकुलर एड्रेस नहीं है तो फॉर दैट ओनली वी हैव केयर ऑफ एड्रेस व्हिच विल टेल अस द करंट लोकेशन एड्रेस. ओके, care of address tells us the current location address. So taking up a scenario, suppose from network 3 a device A, mobile device A wants to send something to mobile device B which belongs to Vodafone Odisha. Now it will send the packet. The packet will reach here. Okay, because this device doesn't know anything about the care of address. Okay, this will simply send with the static address. Okay, so A will send to B in So using the permanent static address only communication will be established. Now once it reaches here, the job is done. Now it is the responsibility of network, home network, that is the original network, to route the packet to the current location of B. The B, since the B has moved, although it belongs here, but it has moved to what location? It has moved to Vodafone Rajasthan. So it is the responsibility of network 4 to route the packet to its current network. That is the current location. Using what? Care of address. So if I belong to Odisha, all my messages, all the messages that I meant to receive will come to Odisha network only. It is the responsibility of Vodafone Odisha to give it to me no matter where I am. Okay, whether I am in Rajasthan, whether I am in Shimla, Haryana, whether I am in Uttarakhand, whether I am in Jammu and Kashmir, it is the responsibility of Vodafone Odisha. That is my home network. My home network responsibility is to route all the packets to my current location wherever I am to me. Okay, it will route the packet to me irrespective of where I am. Did you get it? So this is how mobile IP works. Normal communication takes place with static IP, and from the destination network, that is the home network, using the care of address, the packet is routed to the current location of the mobile node or the device. Okay. So this was about, I hope you got the idea. We will discuss more about Zoom class. In Zoom class, if you have any doubt. But this is the essence. Okay. Taking a simple example taking a real life scenario. Suppose there is a kid called A. Now I am not making pictures of computer. I will simply draw people so that you people understand. Suppose there is a person A, there is a person B. Okay. This person is in Raurkela. This person is in Sundar. They have permanent address. This is permanent address. Now people have legs, right? They can move. I can walk. Today I am here. Tomorrow I might be in some other place through some mode of transportation, isn't it? Now suppose A wants to send something, a letter, to suppose B. Now how it will send? It will send to its permanent address, right, to Sundargarh. Now Sundargarh's homes will receive this letter at their address. Okay, this is their house. This house is in Raurkela and this house is in Sundargarh. Now the letter reached in Sundargarh, but the person is not present here. B is in somewhere else. Okay, B has given to give some exam. Okay, it has some exam in Kolkata, suppose, and it will be living there for 20 days. And this letter is urgent. It has to be sent immediately because it needs to be sent as soon as possible. Otherwise, there is some damage. Okay, damage control can't be done. So that's why we need to do it immediately. So for that matter, what can happen is here these parents, they live in the home, right? What they can do is, it's their responsibility to intimate the letter to, be in Kolkata within, as soon as possible. So what they can do? Now it's their responsibility to either courier it or to, mail it, email it, or do whatever. But it's their responsibility to, that is the home location's responsibility, home network's responsibility to communicate the intended message to its current location, to the mobile node's current location. So, to B's current location, we have to send that mail, which is meant for him. Okay, so that is done with the help of which address? How Kolkata comes into picture? about mobile IP. How mobile IP is discovered? What are the agents? Or here we can say what is A, what is B, and what is the parents. What are the entities in mobile network? We will study in the next class. How the routing of through the care of address, how the routing is taking place, who does the routing, okay, who is taking what responsibility. So for communication to achieve, what are the entities at play, how care of address is generated or discovered. So all this we will discuss in the next class. Okay. I hope you got the idea about mobile IP and how it is different from a static, normal static IP. Okay. In network layer we have IP address. Every device has unique IP address bounded to its location. That is the network. It has two parts: network ID and host ID. Network ID tells us about the network which it belongs to, and the host ID tells us that which is the mobile node within that network. Okay. So this was about normal IP, and how mobile IP is different. Mobile IP, even though we are moving, we can achieve communication through two types of addresses. Although we have, the static IP address which gives us our home location address, but still, since we may not be always present in our home location, because mobile node is meant to be mobile, it can be, in different location as well. So for that purpose, there is an additional address called care of address, to which we can send, we can maintain communication. It is the responsibility of home agent, or we can say home location or home network's responsibility to send or reroute the packet again to its current location if it is not present in its home location. Okay, so this was about mobile IP. We will discuss all this in detail in the next class as well. We will talk about what are the entities of mobile IP, how the architecture looks like with the help of a diagram, and how care of address is discovered. Okay, when to assign care of address and how care of address is generated. We will talk all this about in the next class. Thank you.